Over on my main channel, one of the questions I frequently get asked is, how do I start a movie review channel? What tips do you have? Well, after typing up the same response about 500 times, it seemed like the right time to shoot a video offering my best tips on how to start a movie review channel. So let's talk about it. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Sean. Over on my main channel, I normally talk about movies, but here it's all about YouTube, my journey on YouTube, and my thoughts on how to succeed on YouTube. Before I get started, go ahead and share your thoughts down below in the comments section. What questions do you have about succeeding on YouTube, and what tips do you have for people on how to get started on YouTube? With that said, let's get started. Tip number one. Start. You just need to start creating content. You can't get good at reviewing movies and making videos until you start creating content. And the first stuff you put out will be the worst stuff you ever create because it takes some at-bats. It takes practice. It's just like anything else. The more you do it, the better you get. It takes time to get good at analyzing movies. It takes time to get good at articulating your thoughts on movies. It takes time to get good at creating a style for your channel. It takes time to just good at editing videos. All of it takes practice, so you need to start today. And here's the thing, when you're starting out, your goal isn't to grow. Your goal is to get good. So get started, start practicing so that you can get better. Tip number two, read and watch lots of different movie critics. Back in the mid-90s, I was on a youth retreat to the beach, and one of my friends brought along a Leonard Maltin movie guide. And from the beginning, I fell in love with this thing and started buying a new one every single year. And I would mark up the pages, highlight which movies I had seen, and just read it constantly. So over the last 20 years, I've read and watched dozens of different movie critics, whether you're talking about Siskel and Ebert, Matt Goldberg over on Collider, tons of just different personalities, different voices that have kind of shaped the way I pay attention to movies. So as you read lots of different movie critics, pay attention to how they watch movies and what they notice. Pay attention to how they articulate their feelings on movies. Pay attention to how they structure their reviews. Pay attention to their vocabulary in general. Just notice how they are talking about movies and what they are noticing, and create a whole tool bag of things that you can use to notice things inside of movies, as well as how to talk about movies once you have paid attention to them. I highly recommend you pick up one of these Leonard Maltin's movie guides. You can pick one up off Amazon.com. I'll have a link down below in the description. Tip number three, watch lots of movies. This may seem obvious, but really at the core, if you want to get good at talking about movies, you have to watch an enormous number of movies from a variety of different sources. Watch foreign films, domestic films, blockbusters, indie, good movies, bad movies. Watch all of it from different decades. And the more you watch them, the more you'll pick up on patterns, the more you'll notice things in story structures, the more you'll start to get a real nuanced approach to watching movies so that you can tell the difference between a good movie and a bad movie, a well-shot movie and a poorly shot movie, a well-structured movie and a poorly structured movie. You do that by watching a ton of movies and seeing the difference between all of it, and seeing the different ways film can be used, and which movies are just blatantly making a cheap film and which ones are really trying to do something different inside of the genre. Tip number four, try lots of things. When you're getting started, it's best to just experiment with things. Watch lots of different movie channels and try the different things that they're doing. Experiment with movie news. Try long form discussion type movie reviews. Try real quick movie reviews. Do trailer reactions. Do ranking videos like me. Try all of it. Along the way, you'll start to discover what you're good at, what you enjoy doing, what kind of flows naturally from you. And the way you do that is you experiment. If you go back through the history of my channel, you'll find all kinds of little experiments where I tried something one or two different times and just didn't continue doing it. Sometimes it's not even because whether it was good or bad, it was just it took too long, I didn't enjoy doing it. Other times I experimented and changed the direction of my channel because of it. Doing weekly ranking videos started when my channel was almost a year old. It was an experiment that I decided to try for the summer of 2017, and it transformed my channel and became my niche because I experimented. So try what other people are doing. But eventually, you need to figure out your own style. You will never distinguish yourself by copying other people and chasing trends. So figure out what you're uniquely good at doing and what you uniquely enjoy doing. Tip number 5, constantly improve. If you look at my current videos, they might look real slick and well produced, but that's because I've created 1,000 videos and I've tried to constantly tweak things, evaluate, and make adjustments. If you look week to week, video to video, you don't see big changes usually between my videos. However, if you go back 6 months, if you go back a year and a half, if you go back 2 years, my channel's changed drastically since I originally started. And that's because I've constantly evaluated, noticed things that worked and didn't work, and made adjustments. So you need to constantly be evaluating your content. Ask other people, what do they think about it? Not just random people, but people that you can trust and can give you good, useful, constructive criticism that can help you take actual steps forward in what you're trying to do. I also pay very close attention to my analytics and keep in detailed notes after every single month about what videos worked, what videos didn't work, and more importantly, why did certain videos work and why didn't certain videos work. So pay close attention, tweak constantly. Tip number 6, brainstorm and plan ahead. My channel really didn't start taking off until I started to seriously plan ahead with my content. Going into 2017, I brainstormed over 100 ideas for ranking videos. I mapped out my entire year. I looked at the entire release schedule of all the big releases, January, the first week of January, and I just tried to think ahead. And I think my channel grew greatly in the year 2018 because of that. This year, I took a full week off from releasing any content so I could do this process once again. So this year, I've already mapped out, brainstormed ideas for every single month of this year, trying to hit the different subcategories of my current viewership, trying to have videos that both can be discovered by new people as well as go deeper with my current audiences. And I tried to really map it out and brainstorm, and also just try and come up with ideas so I can do more in-depth content because I've planned ahead and I can be working at it starting for, like, there's a project I'm working on for the first week in May that I started watching movies for it 6 weeks ago. So that was a 6-month ramp up time for a video. That's because I'm planning ahead. And the way you can get good at this, the way that you can improve and have some really cool content is by brainstorming the best ideas, keeping track of what sort of things you could try, and planning ahead so you can actually execute on your awesome ideas. Tip number 7, you don't need to spend a lot of money. Cameras and microphones have gotten so cheap over the last 10 or 15 years that the equipment is just fairly available to you at very low cost. So you don't need to spend hundreds of dollars on a camera to get started. In fact, if you have an iPhone in your pocket, you have a better camera than the one that I've shot all of my hit videos with. This camera right here, this Logitech 920C, is the camera I've shot all of my hit videos with. And this is a webcam that I bought for $50, and it's not as good of a camera as in my phone that I keep in my pocket. The camera I'm currently using is the 930E. It's also a Logitech webcam. It's only $75. If you want to pick one of these up, I have a link down below in the description where you can get them off Amazon. The key really is lighting. You need enough light that you're fully lit and from enough different angles so it removes any shadows from your face, but also in a way that diffuses the light so you don't have like harsh glare or it doesn't wash out your skin tone or anything like that. So when I started out, I bought some work clamp lights from Home Depot, some daylight bulbs from Home Depot, and then I just put wax paper in front of these lights, put it from different angles, and it was pretty good lighting. Now I use these 3 lights. They only cost about $120 for all these lights that I currently use, in which case you can get my video camera setup as well as my lights for under $200. As for my mic, I'm using a Blue Yeti right now. It's a $120 mic. My backup mic is a Blue Snowball. It's a $50 mic, and they sound really good. They're nice condenser microphones. And so if you're interested in any of the specific equipment I'm using, you can see it down below at the description. It does help me out if you use those links if you are so inclined. So that's my advice for getting started. You don't need to spend a bunch of money. Just start creating content. In future videos, I'll tell you my tips on how to start growing an audience. But as for right now, tell me down below in the comment section, what are your tips for getting started? And thank you so much for watching.